Hello everyone! So I'm so excited to come teach my Simplified Portrait and my Expressive Figures with you at the end of April. This has been a long time coming, so I'm so glad that you guys are still coming and I'm still coming. And finally we could do this in person again. So I wanted to show you some stuff. So a lot of you might have questions, especially if you've never painted faces before or never painted figures. This class is actually for every single level. It's actually easier to teach somebody that has never painted a figure or a portrait before because they come with no bad habits. So if you've never done that, you are actually easier to teach than someone that has been doing portraits and figures from a different perspective and from a different technical standpoint. So I'm excited to have you. Tell your friends. Everybody's welcome. All right, so I just am working on the folders that I'm making. So this folder is for those of you that are taking both classes because I've got both bits in there. I'm also going to follow up this email with the actual images that I'd like you to get onto your canvas before class starts. I'm also including a little video clip of my projector. I hate to draw, feel not bad about it at all. I just like to paint. And so I use a projector to get my images onto the canvas and to do the composition and all of that stuff. And I kind of sketch it on there in the way that I like to paint. So if you are a drawer, this is going to be easy for you. If you don't like to draw and you've never drawn, you can get a projector. If you still don't know how to do that, that's fine. I can even, if you reach out to me and ask me to bring my projector, I will bring it for anybody that would like me to bring it to get their artwork onto their canvas. But I'm not bringing it unless somebody reaches out to ask, because then all of a sudden I'm bringing this piece, then I don't need to need. Anyway, I'm babbling now. Okay, so in the folder is a little price list here because I'm going to be bringing some original artwork and some pins for y'all to shop from. But we have two classes going on. One is Simplified Portrait, one is Expressive Figures. I'm just going to show you what's in here. So Simplified Portrait, each class has their own little kind of tips, tutorials, kind of takeaway that you can remember the important stuff. Again, we're going to do some value studies, so that kind of stuff is on there. Shoppable lists and QR codes for freebies and stuff like that. But these are the two faces that I am including in your kit. So day one of Simplified Portrait, everybody is expected to work with me on the same image. We're going to do that in black and white. So this is where needing carbon black and titanium white come in. I believe that I forgot that on the supplies list. So you do need carbon black and titanium white because we're going to do a value study and a portrait in black and white. I just did this for the first, not first time ever, but the first actual in person in 2 years. And this is the sample piece from that image. I use the image for the basic outline, but then every time I paint it, it's a little bit different. So this is the black and white of that. I like to have everybody do that together because then we all kind of learn the same way, and there's a lot of cool things and tricks that I'm going to be giving you to make painting portraits way easier the way I do it. The other thing is day two, we're going to paint in color. And depending on your confidence level, the last class that I did, every single student painted something different. So day two, you can paint. This will be included. I'll also send it out to you. This will be what I'll be working from. But everybody in the last class painted something different because the techniques are so strong and work no matter what you're doing, that we don't have to be painting together on the second day. But this one will be a color, so we'll be using that cadmium red, yellow ochre, titanium white, and raw umber. I think I got all those colors. So again, we are going to all paint from this day one. This is a 9 by 12, I believe this is, but you can paint anything bigger than an 8 by 10. 8 by 10 is still kind of small, but if you're panicked, I don't want you to panic. But anything, I had people doing 16 by 20s, so whatever size you want is the size you should be painting on. And then I will bring some carbon paper. Sorry, you're looking at my head. Because here's another easy way to transfer your image on to a canvas. I just have back like in the days of when we were waitresses and we had the carbon paper in there. And I kind of started painting that in class, but then I was helping everybody else and didn't get there. But that was done and transferred with carbon paper or graphite paper, stuff like that. All right, so that's Simplified Portrait. If you have questions, I 100% want you to reach out to me. It's Donna at DonnaDowney.com. You can go through the website. You can get me on Patreon. You can get me on social media, whatever, wherever you can, get me, and I will answer all of your questions, because I know anytime you teach portraits or figures, people are scared. And so the next class I want to talk about is Expressive Figures. Again, another little handout and some tips to takeaways from the class. There's also a QR code on there. All right. The images that I will be painting from, and what I hope that everybody joins me in painting for day one, because it's a lot easier on day one to paint the same thing, is this. This is the painting that I'm so excited to paint this. I love contortion. I love when a figure feels like it is trapped on a canvas. It is a means of expression. So just compositionally wise, this speaks awesomely to me. So this is what day one we will be doing. Depending on where we are, black and white is where I'd like to start. However, those of you that are taking Simplified Portrait and then moving into this, you might not need to. So if you're in this and you've never taken Simplified Portrait, even if you did and you're like, I want to still practice the black and white because that was so important, again, we will need carbon black and titanium white. We will all do this picture the first day, unless for some reason you're going to go rogue, and that's fine too. Second day, I'm doing this one, but you can bring any image that you want. Again, I feel like once you learn and once you understand how to do it, you don't need to be spoon-fed. I will be there to help you at any single point, and that's why you saw I didn't paint too much on the other one, because everybody was doing different paintings and I was walking around the room helping them. So I will paint, but mostly I like to help the students. So this is what I'll be painting on day two, but this is the one you can bring anything for. All right. And I would also caution, don't bring somebody you know if you are bringing an image that's different than mine, because a lot of times it can be stressful to try to paint somebody you know really well if you're just learning. But I've had students do it and they've nailed it. So that too. And then you're going to get a little handout, and it has some freebies and QR codes and stuff in there on the inside. All right. So that's really what I wanted to show you. I want you to make sure that you're comfortable and feeling good. I am painting on 18 by 24 inch canvases. I think this is a great size for anybody. Painting smaller can get more difficult, especially when you're doing full figure. 16 by 20 is doable. If you start getting below 16 by 20 for the figurative, you're going to start getting really tight. So if you have a larger piece, bring it. I also really suggest working on easels. A tabletop easel is fine for the portraits class. A standing easel or a tabletop easel is perfect for the the figures workshop. Working on an easel changes the game. Working flat, your skewed perspective, and then when you tilt it to look on a wall, it is going to be proportionally incorrect. So if you don't have one, I mean, don't necessarily go break the bank to get one. We can maybe try to jimmy rig something, but both of these canvases should fit on an tabletop easel if you don't have a floor easel that you can bring. Again, so many things to share, and I'm so excited to come be with you. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out, Donna at DonnaDowney.com. Bye, guys. Y'all, so this is the projector that I use. I hate to draw, so I use a projector. I have suggested this projector to any number of students who love to paint but don't like to draw. What you need is this, and I will put a link to that, but also this little dongle-y piece here that connects to the phone. So the image on the phone, that's my screensaver. The image, one second, please. One moment, please. All right, the image on the phone is this. This is the image that I would like for us to paint together on day one. I'm really a fan of the way composition and the human figure falls in the canvas space. So you can see that's plugged in, and there's an HDMI cord that comes with it. It plugs into this dongle thing. This is the iPhone charger into the dongle. So going into the phone is the HDMI cord to the projector, and the actual cord to the box that plugs in. So that needs to be charged. So you need this little piece and then the projector. And here's the projector here. It's kind of hard to show this, and it's a mess, so don't judge. So there's the piece I'm doing for day 2. There's an animal behind there, a cat. And then this is the projector onto the canvas. Now the cool thing is you can size by pushing the projector closer and further away so that you can play with the composition as it sits on your image. This is the full image, but see how the table leg, I don't know if you can see that, or the chair leg kind of goes off the piece. So I just wanted to contort it a little bit more and make it tighter in the piece, because that's what's really exciting to me when I paint. And I'm just going to turn it off because it is kind of dark. I have the blinds down, but you can see it on there. And I'm going to turn this off. Just turn this button here. And then you can see that I've traced the image onto the canvas there, the outline. There are things that I sketch on the canvas that give me clues about shading. You can see all those shaded areas. This will make more sense once we start painting together, but I just wanted you to see how I've gotten that on there. And I'm looking for it now. I use a Neo Color 2. I don't know where I put it, but I use a Neo Color 2 crayon to put it on there because they're water soluble and they will just basically dissipate, unlike something like a charcoal or a pencil line that might be harder to hide. All right, so that's a little bit about using the projector. I use it not only for my figures, but I use it also for my portraits too.